What is up guys, my name is Mario, and on this video we're going to check out this camera stabilizer made by a company named Ashanks. We're going to go over the details and we're going to cover some of the information that you need to know before you actually purchase one. So make sure you stay until the end of this video. So one of the things that you need to make sure before you actually purchase one is to make sure that the actual stabilizer is compatible with the camera. So depending on the weight of the camera, you're going to have to actually purchase the actual stabilizer that is going to be compatible with it. So for example, I'm using actually one of the smaller sizes of the stabilizers because I have a smaller camera. So if I am to go and purchase one of the bigger stabilizers and I'm using a small camera, it is going to be hard to actually keep the balance, and it's going to be almost impossible to stabilize it. So first, looking at the design of the stabilizer. So this stabilizer is made of metal, pretty much. It feels pretty solid and it's well made. I had it for a couple of weeks now and I haven't had any issues using it so far. So starting from the bottom, on the bottom you have the actual weight plate where you actually can adjust the weight of it. So this one actually comes with different weights. So depending on the weight of your camera, as you're balancing it out, you're probably gonna have to add or remove some of the weights on the bottom. It is very easy to adjust. You don't even need to have any tools. You can easily remove or add the weights as you need on the bottom, or you can actually move them towards the center or towards the outer position of the plate. So this is going to help you or give you a more precise balance for the stabilizer. Also, as you want to keep it more precise, you're going to be able to actually extend the pole of the actual stabilizer, or you can make it smaller. All of this is going to come into place when you're trying to balance the stabilizer. And right on the bottom, you're going to have this rubber feet, which is going to allow you to extend it up on a table and ensuring you don't actually scratch any of the surface of the tables that you're using. Moving further up, you're going to have the handle. So these handles actually, it feels okay. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not bad at all. Remember, this is a budget-friendly camera stabilizer. It is going to have some foam material, which is going to allow you to have better grip. Another downside is that you're not able to actually adjust the handle up or down if you want to extend the pole. But regardless, you can still work around it and make it work for you. Moving into the top of the camera stabilizer, you're going to notice that it's going to come with two different release plates. What I like about this is that it's very easy to add and remove the plates, and you can actually adjust it forward, back, or left or right as you need, with just quickly releasing the plate a little bit and adjusting as you need it as you're balancing the stabilizer. On the side of each plate, you're going to have an actual measuring guide, which is going to allow you to have a more precise balance. And also you can actually remember the measurements. So in the future, when you already have your camera set up and you won't be making any adjustments, you can just pop your camera in and slide the actual plates as you need it, or where you had it last time you had it and it was working, and you're good to go. And you only have to make minor adjustments, and you don't have to balance the whole stabilizer from scratch every time you use it. On the side of each plate, you also have a turning knob, which is going to have a bubble balance, which is going to help you if you're trying to shoot straight to the floor. But I really don't know exactly what was the purpose of this, as you're actually trying to balance it. It doesn't really serve a purpose. One thing that is very important to know is that you have to have your camera set up exactly the same way you're going to be using it before you actually balance the stabilizer. Something as small like adding a SIM card, changing the battery, changing the lens, or just a lens cap is going to throw off the balance. So make sure that your camera is ready to go exactly on how you're going to use it and how you're going to record before you start balancing the stabilizer. As I'm getting ready to balance my stabilizer, I make sure I added a SIM card. I have the actual LCD screen positioned the way I want it, and I already added my lens, and I make sure I remove the actual lens protector. The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure I do a drop test. So this is the first, for me, this is the first step I want to do before I start balancing the camera. So as you can see right now, this is supposed to actually drop. So what this means is that I have too much weight on the top and not enough weight in the bottom. So what we can do is we're going to actually extend the pole a little bit, see if this is going to help. So we extended the pole. Now it's actually dropping too fast. So what we want to do is we want to adjust it a little bit. Let's get it closer up there. So now that we adjusted, I think we got it where we needed it to be. The drop test should be between 2 to 3 seconds when you let go, to the point where you let go and to the point where it needs to reach down. So as you can see, we have 2001, 2002, 2003. So you get the point. I mean, it does take time to balance it, especially if you're pretty new. It can take you a few hours. Once you become a pro, I'm pretty sure you can do it in a few minutes. So for me, it still takes time. So the next step that you want to do to balance the stabilizer is you want to adjust the actual weight of the camera as it's tilting forward or if it's tilting to one of the sides. So first we start by actually checking out the front tilt. So we move it around a little bit. As you can see, it's actually tilting forward. So what we do is just basically, we're gonna release the plate a little bit and we're gonna slide the camera back a little bit more. So once we feel that we got the actual front and back tilt adjusted, the next thing that we want to do is balance the left to right tilt. And again, we just have to release the plate a little bit and adjust the plate as we need, using the guiding rules that we have on the side of each plate. So once you have your camera pretty close to where it needs to be, the camera really shouldn't be wobbling or moving from left to right. Again, it's going to take time for you to do it. Just once you practice, you get used to it, you get your camera settings where you need them to be, it will become much easier to start using it. So once you have the camera balanced, there's two more things you have to keep in mind. That just because you have a camera stabilizer doesn't mean you're going to have clean shots. You actually have to make sure that as your movement doesn't reflect on the actual camera stabilizer. So you have to actually do what they call a lean walk. So there's a lot of videos out there you can watch on how you can improve your movement as you're actually shooting the videos. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that you can use your fingers to just tap the front of the stabilizer just to make sure the camera is not actually moving around. So this is going to help you as you're moving around, just keeping the camera pointing to the direction that you want and keeping it from actually just moving around or ending up pointing to the wrong direction. So this was my review of the camera stabilizer made by Ashanks. Again, this is going to cost you around $50–$55. It's not going to be the most expensive one or the cheapest one. I think something that is going to be good is going to cost you around this price. Again, it's not going to be easier to do it from the get-go. It does take some time to get used to it. I was a new user for one of these. I never used one before, and I can tell you at first it was a little bit hard trying to get it to balance, but as I'm using it more every day and on each video that I do, it's becoming a lot easier to do it. If you're looking for another way to improve the content of your videos and you don't want to spend a lot of money, definitely looking into getting one of these. I think it's worth the money. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below. Let me know of your questions, concerns in the comment section below. Remember, I'm not a professional videographer. I do this as a hobby and I'm actually learning as I go. So if there's anything I can help you with, reach out to me, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.